Well, hello there, YouTube, and welcome back to the first ride on the old Street Glide. And good Lord, what's that been? 17 days? Yeah, 17 or 18 days, whatever that works out to be. The last time I rode it was the 23rd of October. And today's the 9th of November. Yeah, 9th. So I guess 17 days. But anyway, even though I'll be coming home in the absolute pitch black dark, I couldn't stand it. And I got a guy that I shoot the bull with. He's a follower. Excuse me. He lives in I think he lives in Vancouver or somewhere in that area. Somewhere in the Vancouver area. And I don't know if you guys pay attention to comments, but one day he commented, he goes, "Hey, I pass you every day on I-5. You're going south, I'm going north." He says, "I'm on a black switchback, Harley switchback." And I've seen him a couple of times since that comment, but I'm either vlogging or deep in thought or whatever the hell. I see him too late. I wave, I'm sure he doesn't see me. But anyway, he says, he goes, "I'm always curious to see what you're going to be riding that day." But anyway, he, Mickey is his username. And I'm embarrassed to say I haven't looked to see if he's got a YouTube channel. I'll do that tonight, or if I get a brief moment at work today, I'll look him up, and I'll put links down below. But the reason I mention him, besides the nice comments, texts, and emails and stuff I get from him, he just purchased, I'm not sure if it's a 15 or a 16. I would imagine a 15 because there's so many of them left over. But a Road Glide Special, the same color as this Street Glide Special. And as you guys know, I'm sure you know, but the only difference between a Street Glide and a Road Glide is the Road Glide has the fixed fairing that works extremely well going down the road. I'm not a big fan of the look of that fairing, but that's just a personal thing. The fantastic bike, obviously, it's a fantastic motorcycle, but I think he does probably more traveling on his bikes than I do on mine. So that was, geez, there was never a hole there before. I mean, that was a full-on hole. But yeah, I think he spends way more time going down the freeway and whatnot on his than I do. And perfect choice. Because there ain't no question, that's the best performing fairing, is, to get that Honda Goldwing-like protection going down the road. But anyway, congratulations to him on his new Road Glide. Almost called it a Street Glide. He's trying to pick the right moment to get up north. Oh, that's the other thing too. He went up to Northwest Harley-Davidson up there where I bought this, and that's where he purchased it. So there's been several times he was going to go snag it, bring his switchback up. He's trading it in, and I'm sure they probably made him an awesome deal like they did me. They're really great to work with. But anyway, man, he had, living in the Vancouver area, I'm not sure where he's at, he's got a lot of choices, and that's fantastic that he went all the way up to Northwest Harley, way up here, actually north of my neck of the woods. Hell, it takes me an hour to get there from my house. But that's really cool. He didn't have the same sales. Rob was my salesman, which you guys seen in the videos. And anyway, while he was doing all the dealing, Rob's been on vacation. And Friday, I'm tinkering away with with a Spider. I think I was on the Spider. I might have been, yeah, I was still on a Spider. I was trying to think if I had gone back to the Indian yet. But someone walks up, and I look up, and there's Rob. Now I'm like, what in the world are you doing way the heck down here? Because I think Rob lives up in the Olympia area up there. And he was on vacation, was coming from the south, heading north, going back home, and thought he'd swing by and say, hey, that was way cool. We had a short but very pleasant conversation. And I mentioned to him that, I know a guy that you may have helped, but he told me he was on vacation, so he wasn't a salesman. But anyway, Mickey got to meet Rob yesterday. He caged it up there because it was raining and stuff yesterday. Yesterday was one of his target days to go pick it up, but the weather is too nasty. So he did cage it up there and took his new bike for a test ride up there and loved it. And did get a chance to meet Rob, which is way cool. And I think has a tentative date of Tuesday to go up and pick it up. So I'll make sure I'll link whatever I can to him. And hopefully he'll do some kind of vlog or a video on it or whatever. And that'll be way cool. Always excited to see somebody get a brand new Harley. He rode it and said he just loved it. He goes, man, what a difference from that road glide coming off of that switchback. That switchback is basically riding on a street bob frame. So for a bagger that can be very quickly switched into a naked bike, it's quite small. If you guys remember, I took you for God, it's probably been a couple years ago or better now. We took in a red switchback that I was like this close to buying it, but there was something funky with it. At speed, that thing would get a pretty crazy head shake, and the thing had really low miles on it, and the tires were fresh. I did the used vehicle inspection on it, so all the tire pressures and everything were where they're supposed to be. So ultimately I decided, one, the bike just felt awfully small to me when I rode it, and that head shake thing, which was not a very friendly one, and this would take some work to, whatever was causing that was not good. So I decided against it. It was mainly once you got up to like 75, 80 miles an hour, it got very pronounced. You would dare take your hands off the handlebars on this thing. But then odd thing, I took Kelly for a ride. In fact, in that video, I think I took her for the ride. And I don't think I had a mic or anything on. I'll dig and see if I can find that link, and I'll stick that down below as well. But with her and like 35 miles an hour, if I just let light pressure off of the bars, man, it went into a violent head shake. And I didn't say anything in the video, I don't think, but at that moment, that was an undoing of that bike. And hello. And then that kind of set that little thing in the back of my head that I wanted a Harley bagger. But at that time, I didn't want to spend the money of purchasing a new one like I ended up doing with this one. And that's when about a year later, I came across the deal with the Road King. But that little seed had already been planted. I really had no, I had no real thoughts towards a bagger. But that switchback kind of, like I said, planted that seed. And then when the Road King came along, and this was literally like a week or two, I think maybe 2 weeks before the Utah trip last year, man, I just fell in love with that thing and had to have it. I actually still love that old motorcycle. Rob was showing me pictures. As you know, him and his wife purchased the Road King once I traded it in. Hell, if I'd have known he wanted the thing so bad, I could have probably made a little better profit, and he could have saved some money if we'd have done a deal on the side. But you know, you don't know where your heart's going to go. You know, it was one of those things. He wasn't in love with it initially, but you know how those things go. You know, you look at the bike and go, nah, and then you look back at it again, and you go, wow, I really like that thing. They just, you know, they whisper to you in the background and get your attention. Next thing you know, you're in love with it. Let's see if I can deal with a shield down here without fogging up. Man, it's showing the temperature is 50 degrees. It was 41 when I started getting ready. What is the deal? There's no way there's that much of a temperature change. I'm gonna have to have the shield up. That much of a temperature change coming from my house down to the freeway here. And I'm at an elevation right now that is considerably higher than where I'm at. I think this hill here is God, I want to say it's close to 1,000 feet. It's always like in the wintertime, it can be raining and below freezing, and you'll catch ice coming across this thing. If there's questionable weather, this is where you're gonna hit the worst of it, coming across this hill. I keep telling you guys I'm gonna look up what the name of this stupid thing is, and I keep forgetting. It's actually called something mountain, but we just call it the rest area hill. Anyways, fantastic. And what we were going to try to do, we're going to try to coordinate when he comes up, that I was going to ride with him up to Northwest Harley. That's probably really loud, but I am running the Cena, so it's probably doable. Because there's a 20% chance of rain between 3 and 5, and I leave at 5, and the biggest chance of rain is from Longview to my house, and it'll be dark, so I didn't want to have to deal with an open camera, so I just went ahead and put the Cena and used the Hero 4 Black with the Cena and put it in a waterproof case, because otherwise I gotta use an open case. If I was with a Spider or something with a really tall shield, I wouldn't mind running the skeleton case. It's not really a skeleton case. As I mentioned, I bought the blackout case and cut a square hole on the mic and card side, the mic adapter side, the USB side, the same size as the skeleton case, but I left everything else closed up. But it's open enough. Water, you know, if you got in a heavy enough downpour, you could get water in it. So I threw some of those moisture absorbing GoPro little tablets or little squares, whatever you want to call them. I threw those in there because a drastic temperature change can make the lens fog up on this thing. And this Cena waterproof case is definitely not waterproof. If I get in a heavy enough downpour, she's got to come off. Last year I got in some pretty healthy downpour rides with the Venture, and one time I got to work and there was literally water kind of floating at the bottom. The GoPro was just shy of just laying right in the water. And you know, as you jiggle your head, it kind of splashed up and hit the bottom of the GoPro, but nothing got in. There was no damage. And oddly enough, that was with the Silver, I think, wasn't it? And because I think I got a few comments. Well, you said that thing got wet. You probably killed it. It never got in. The issue that was going on with the Silver and the Hero 4 Blacks, turns out it was just a software issue that some units seem to be affected. I found some other guys that had the exact same problem as me, and they kept returning theirs until they got one guy had to return it twice and got a good one finally. And I was going to do that with this one. So when my 3 Plus Black died, so it died, I needed a, you know, I didn't want to use my Hero 3 because the battery's bad, the Wi-Fi's slow. It's a great backup camera, but you know, I don't know how long it would take to go through sending the 4 Black, you know, back to GoPro, and I don't know how long that would take. And it was towards the end of the riding season, and I was trying to get as many vlogs in as I could. So where are we at here? I'm going to have to let you go here in a second. I don't want to make a long freeway vlog here. So I bought the silver that was like almost 2 million units newer than my old silver, if I remember right, something like that. Maybe it was over 2 million, whatever the case was. It was quite a bit newer. And as soon as I went to hook it up to my app to sync it with my phones, there was a software upgrade that I didn't know anything about. I thought GoPro, they used to email me when there was upgrades. Maybe I missed the email or something. So anyway, it was a big jump. It went from 2.6 or something to 3.0, and I'm like, whoa, there's some wholesale changes with this. So before I ever used the silver, I put that software or firmware update, whatever you want to call it, and the thing worked flawless. The battery lasts a long time. It lasts more than an hour, but I've never let it run completely out, so I don't know when that is. Excuse me. But I know it's over an hour. I can clearly, I've gone like an hour 8, I think is the longest I've gone. You know, you just grab all your videos and hit properties and see how long it is, you know, how much footage time that is. But that's all on one battery. But so I decided, well, what the hell, before I send the Hero 4 Black back to GoPro, I'll go ahead and throw this 3.0 firmware on there. And in my mind, I know it's an overheat problem, because it took like 8 or 10 minutes into a vlog is when it would start doing the exposure switching. And then the camera was really, really, really hot. I mean, hotter than I've ever, other than the silver, the Hero 4 Silver that died. This Black was the hottest GoPro I've ever felt. I mean, almost, you couldn't sit there and squeeze it and hold it. It would burn you. And that's with it in a skeleton case, or a frame as they refer to it, and out in the wind. So this thing was getting massive cooling, and it's not like it was locked up in a waterproof case. But put the 3.0 on there, it just gets, you know, the typical warm that GoPros get, and it's never missed a beat. In fact, you are watching that same, the last Hero 4 Black that I had, that I was going to deal with directly with GoPro instead of trying to exchange it at work. That's it. You're watching it right now. In fact, a lot of times I don't even tell you which camera I'm using. A lot of times I'm using the Black. Now, I have no idea how long. I haven't used the Black long enough to see what kind of battery life I get out of it. But I noticed going by the, you know, the bars on the remote, it's definitely doesn't last as long as the Hero 4 Silver. Which is weird, because the way I have the camera set, they're both exactly pushing 45,000 something kilobits per second of data. So it's not like I'm tapping into the Hero 4 Black's high horsepower. I think it's just the high horsepower engine, even though it's pushing the same amount of data. I think just the fact that it's a more robust engine in it, so to speak, it just it burns more fuel. But anyway, cool news about a cool guy that picked himself up a new Road Glide, and he sent me a picture of it, and it's the Special Series Denim Black. So it's the Denim Black. It's got the the same stripes. Obviously the stripes are different on the fairing because it's a different fairing. But down the side of the bike and the bags and everything, it's literally the same. So way cool. And I know from experience he's gonna love that bike. He'll definitely have a much more comfortable freeway ride than I will. But as I have an issue with the camera going over this, I literally could not put the camera on the chin with a road glide. The fairing on those are really high. So I'd have to use a side mount, or I'd have to do something totally different. I wouldn't be able to vlog in this configuration. And as you can see, I can barely do it with the street glide. So all the little things you run into trying to go on with your life, you know. I found my MSR Cold Pro gloves. These things aren't quite as hot as those climb gloves, and they're considerably more flexible and more comfortable. And they are waterproof, but I think the climbs actually do the same way. The water gets in that first layer, so it kind of works like a wetsuit, so to speak. Your hands stay dry, but the water gets in the first layer. I mean, why not just make the outer layer? Maybe a part of making the things vent well or something. I have no idea. But if it's trying to keep the cold out, I don't know why venting would be all that important, but the jackets do that. Well, they claim to do it, but they don't vent as well. You know how they say if you get hot on the inside, it'll work in reverse. The moisture can get out. That may be happening, but they don't keep you very cool unless you got really good vents in it. The vents on this, is this the Kilimanjaro? Yeah, the Kilimanjaro is what I have. No, I have the Kathmandu. I always get them mixed up. This is the first gear Kathmandu. This is one warm jacket. Holy moly, is this thing warm. But if you get hot, the vents don't work nowhere near as good as they do on my first gear TPG Rainier. But being as it was 41, the last time that was about the temperature it was when I rode this last on the 23rd. In fact, the last time I rode it to work. But before I bail out here, and I do need to go, I touched on something and didn't finish it. I rode it, if you guys ever read the description on my videos, the last video I just posted on this thing, the cold run in or whatever I called it, I mentioned in the description that, or maybe it was in comments, I don't remember where. It might have been a comment. I said, wait till you see the ride home. There is a drawback to these soft lowers. And I forgot that that was a day, that was literally the day I knew the Hero 4 Black, or Hero 3 Plus Black had died. Because I vlog all the way to work, which can be up to an hour. So I stick it on a charger, and I didn't realize the little USB port was broken. And that blackout case with a 3 Plus in there, you can't see the light when it's charging. You just can't see it. So I didn't realize it didn't charge. So I vlogged for about a half an hour once I left work. And I deemed that pretty much junk. And when I took the turn down to take the back roads, which was a really good vlog, I thought, the battery died. So it had lasted the whole vlog to work and another half an hour coming back. And so basically at work it didn't get a recharge. And that stupid remote flashes red to let you know you're still hooked up and recording. And my knack of not looking down and paying attention to what I'm doing made me lose that whole vlog. It was about probably 25 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes. It wasn't a very long one. But anyway, if I mention that in the description or I told you in a comment, I need to apologize in advance. That second part of that video is never coming. I forgot. I've got a 47-second video, not a 20-25 minute video. So everything I talked about was gone. And just so you know, so I don't leave you hanging, once the weather warms up, with the soft lowers on, your right foot gets quite hot. It blocks almost too much air. And when I was going through the back roads, you know, you're not going very fast. And anyway, my right foot was quite hot. But I mean, literally, from stopping the bike, taking them off, rolling them up, sticking them in a saddlebag, or just shoving them in there, you don't have to even roll them up. You'd have them things off, and you'd be back on the bike in like 10 seconds. It's just one clip, and they slide off. So they're very, very quick to take on and off. The only time it would take a little, and I mean only a few seconds more, is if you had highway pegs on there. You'd have to open the zippers big enough for it to slide over the highway pegs. But that's it. They're not the best looking one. They're not really nice like the leather ones that just look fantastic. But at the same time, they retail for $89.95. Those leather ones are a couple $100 or more. They're expensive. But boy, they do look good, and they don't come on and off as fast either. So it's kind of one of those things. If you're riding in the winter, you're not overly concerned with how you look anyway. And if you don't like the way it looks, look at this jackass. No turn signal, no nothing. And it's a blonde-haired lady. I'm about to get taken out by a truck here. But anyway, if you don't like them, as soon as you get to work, you just take them off and slip them in your bag. If you don't want people to go, God damn, them things are ugly. But oddly enough, you know, if you walk up on the bike, they don't stick out as hideous or anything. When you look at them from behind, where you can see the clip and stuff, they don't look so good. But from the front, they're fine. Has a Harley emblem and stuff on them. So they're pretty cool. Anyway, 27 minutes. I promised myself today I was going to do a 40 to 50 minute ride to work vlog. So I just had a few things to say and I ran along on that. So congratulations, McMickey, on your new road glide, and I hope the weather holds out for you tomorrow to go pick it up. There's not a Chinaman's chance in hell I can get tomorrow off. So, and I think he already knows, because he said I'll keep you up to date on how it goes picking up. He knows I can't get off tomorrow without even asking. So anyway, the ride up with him's not going to happen. But he'll be all excited nonetheless. We'll get together at some point and go for a ride. And in case I haven't mentioned this before, I met him in person. He showed up at the International Motorcycle Show in Portland. So I got to meet him face to face, shake his hand, and say howdy do, whatnot. So that's cool. So I'm sure at some point we'll look like almost twins driving down the road on two denim black glides. A road and a street glide. That'll be fun. But anyway, I might come up with stuff at work. I have no idea. But I've got this thing set to the limit of ISO 6400, which is a less than favorable quality. It gets soft and noisy looking, but it does pick up quite a bit of a low light. So we'll do some nighttime vlogging, because when I get off, it will be dark. So there'll be some twilight left, because I think sunset is it's like 4:45. So there will be some residual out there. Unless, you know, something happens and I get out early, who knows. But until later, with whatever I come up with next, I have no idea. I will talk to you guys later on. So I told you I'd give in and ride in the winter sooner or later. I just got withdrawals, thinking, man, I haven't ridden that street glide in 2 weeks, over 2 weeks. I'm about to lose my mind. And then McMickey sending me that picture of his new road glide up there. That just sealed the deal. I'm like grabbing my phone. So what's the weather going to do tomorrow? So I watched it last night and watched it this morning. I said, you know what? I'm going to risk it. There's a chance I could get wet. Oh, and in that last vlog, I think it was the last vlog, I actually got caught in the rain on this. Enough that it was rolling over everywhere. I was kind of riding along, holding my hand over the open hole on the blackout case that I got carved open. But everything worked great, except for I had no idea that the Hero 3 Plus Black did not charge at work. So as long as the batteries last on the 3 Plus Black, they don't last going to work and coming home, I can tell you that. There ain't that much life in them. But anyway, I'm out. Thank you guys very much. I hope you're enjoying the sun in your face morning vlog, ride, whatever on the street glide. All right, thanks now. We'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Be safe out there. Watch out for the crazy people. Bye-bye.